Hello everyone, welcome to today's live. My name is Vahid and I'm going to start another live. Let me type the title of today's live. Okay, now I'm going to paint my message. Give me a moment. Okay. My friends, today I'm going to speak about variant data type. It can be used to manage when different data types. So when you want one function, but you work with different data types. In today's live, I'm going to show you a simple code in SQL language, which shows how three data types, in my example, a Boolean, integer, and a real data type, that can be used, that can be entered to my function from one input. I'm going to start today's live, but every time you have any questions, any idea, please feel free and use the chat section and send me your ideas, your questions, and so on. So I'm going to start today's live. Let me share a video with you. Okay, as you see, I recorded already a video. I'm using for the first example, I'm using a S7-1200 CPU. It includes one organization block, one function block, and a data block. Inside its function block, inside its function, the first input is X, whose data type is variant, not Boolean, not real, not integer, because I'm going to use this input to receive different data types. Okay? Well, I define two outputs whose data types are integer. The second one will display my data type's status. Inside my code, I sent 0 to status to display that the data type is not recognized. 1 when my input whose data type is Boolean. 2 when my input's data type is integer. And 3 when my input, I mean X, its data type is real. And Y is a mathematic expression, is a value. Okay, to write my code, I defined 3 variables whose data types are Boolean, integer, and real. And now let's take a look at my code. At the beginning of my code, I sent 0 to my output variable status by default. If data type of my input, whose data type is variant, and my input is X, if his data type is Boolean, then this section of my code will be executed. All right. Type of determine type of whose type of your variable. So if my data type of my input is Boolean, this section will be executed. Number 1 will be stored in status. The second instrument, VariantGet, is an instruction that you can use that to get the stored variable in your input parameter. As you see, you can find it on the right section. Here you can also see VariantPut to send your desired value to your variable, whose data type is variant. And also here is another instructions, count of elements, which give you count of elements in a variable whose data type is variant. In this example, in my SCL language, I'm going to use VariantGet. This instruction gives me a stored number, a stored value in my input. This instruction gets two inputs. The first one is my input variable x, whose data type is variant. And the next one is the pellets I'm going to store my desired value. I'm going to store value of my x, my input, based into my desired variable. Okay, as you saw, I can easily add a VariantGet instrument and use that. The next part, the next sentence, first I'm going to invert my Boolean variable. So if my input is equal to 0, if x is equal to 0, my y will be 1, because here I'm using not. If x is equal to 0, temp underline bool parameter will be 1. And after that, I'm going to use a conversion instruction to convert Boolean data type to integer data type, because my output y, its data type is integer. You can easily use the right sections, go to conversion operation and find convert instruction. Here, for example, I select integer data type and then yield data type. Okay, I'll show you how you can find and use VariantGet instruction or the convert instruction. So for this section of my program will be executed if data type of my input, data type of the x, is equal to Boolean. In this condition, these codes will be executed, and it will convert my input and then store in y. The second part of my code will be executed when type of x is equal to integer. All right, it's similar to previous section. Here I sent stored value in this variable, and then it will be sent to my output directly without any changing. But you can use any mathematical functions here. And finally, the third section first will be executed when the type of x is equal real data type. In this condition, first I will store number 3 in the status parameter, then store my input value on this variable, and then it is multiplied by 10. And finally, I use a conversion instruction to change data type from real to integer. This is my simple program, which is called in my function plug. In my function plug, I defined two parameters, and here I defined three values whose data types are different: Boolean, integer, and real, and used for my function. And naturally, I called my function plug from OB1. Okay, now I'm going to compile and download my program to my PLC sim simulator. My friends, every time if you have any questions, any idea, please use the chat section. Please feel free to share your ideas with me. Okay, let's select a start module to start my PLC sim simulator. Let's open, first let's go online and then open my function plug, the function that calls my FC, my SCL code. Alright, as you see here, I have three static parameters whose data types are different with three different values. And here my function whose language is SCL. As you see, x1 is a Boolean parameter whose value is equal to 2. So in my function block, I mean FC2, it receives this input, and then based on the first sections of my SCL language, I invert that. So the output will be 0 and status display number 1. Now let's use another data type. Let's use x2 as input of my function block, whose data type is integer. Again, let's download the new program to my PLC sim simulator. All right, as you see, my program is working without any error. It receives my input value and directly sent it to Y, and also a status display number 2, because my input's data type is integer. Again, let's change it to x3, whose data type is real, and download the new program. Okay, again, as you see, my program is working properly, and based on my SCL program, my function receives this real number, and then this number is multiplied with number 10 and stored in this output. And status display number 3, because my input functions is a real number. Okay, as you saw, I used a variant data type to receive different data types from my inputs. If you are using a CPU 1500 model, you may want to use another syntax to write this program. As you saw, here you can see again a organization block, a function block, and a data block. Let me close current windows. And now I'm going to test another simple program in SCL for S7 1500 PLC. I can use another syntax. Okay, as you saw in my function block, I called my FC 3 times because I have 3 inputs whose data types are different. The first one is Boolean, the second one is integer, and the third one is a real number. And here you can see my new code. All right. My friends, you can use my previous codes, which was written for S7 PLC inside the current PLC, because 1500 PLC is more advanced other than my previous PLC. Okay, again, as you see, I use a variant data type. I use 2 outputs. And the first parameter here is similar to my previous code. But for this input, I'm using another data type, another options inside this column. Reference underline to integer. All right, when you write it, you can select whose data type, your desired data type. Here is different from my previous section. And as you see, at this time, I use this syntax. In here is new, related to my previous codes. This syntax is pointing to variant. This syntax checks the operator type before assigning a variant. It only copies the value if the types are the same. All right. So this syntax is a little different from this one. Okay, here I sent number 0 to my status by default. Then I use case structure. You can also use the if you want. The first section is similar to my previous codes, but for the remainder program for the next 2 sections, I'll change my code. Here, I send the stored value in my reference underline integer, which is connected to my input, whose data type is variant. Its value will be saved if type of x is this section of my program will be executed when type of x is equal to integer. In these conditions, at the first line of my program, if this parameter is connected to my input, and using this syntax power, I stored the stored number in my parameter in my desired output, which here is y. Again, let me say that the power operator operand is used to access real value of a reference address. It means go to the address and use the value stored there. All right. So in this syntax, you can see 2 new operands. Here, the first one, and also this one. The third section will be executed when type of x is equal real. Its value again will be multiplied with 10, and then I use a conversion instruction to change data type from real to integer. Now let me close my current PLC Sim simulator. I'm going to download this new code, which was written for CPU 1515 models. And now I'm going to download it. Now let's click on the Start Simulation. All right. My friends, I'm going to download my new code to a PLC Sim simulator and then test it. Okay, let's click on Start Module. All right. My friends, as you know, we already upload a course for TIA Portal. If you don't have any knowledge, any experience with TIA Portal, you can use our TIA Portal course or on the PLCgoods YouTube channel or buy from the Udemy website. You can find their links below. They're current live on the YouTube. Okay, as you see, my program works without any error. The first network, let me. Okay, as you see, the first network receives x1, whose data type is Boolean. The second one receives an integer number and sends it to its output. And the third one receives a real number multiplied with by number 10 as stored in this output parameter. All right. My friends, I've reached the end of this live. In this live, I've written a simple code in SCL and tested with PLC Sim simulator for two type of PLCs, S7 1200 PLC and S7 1500 PLC. I hope this live be useful for you. If you don't have any questions, I'm going to stop this live. I hope you have a great week. Bye. Okay, I'm going to stop this live if you don't have any question. Okay, again, thank you for watching this live.